In 2015, Seoul and Tokyo signed an agreement to resolve wartime sex slavery. However, the deal had the reverse effect and was rejected by many as it was made behind closed doors by a flawed administration without consent of the victims and families. Our Connie Kim sat down with Professor Alexis Dudden for her take on how the two nations should approach this issue.
I think the first step that the new administration here will likely take is to focus on the survivors. I think it is a very good moment for President Moon to take advantage of his own background as an international human rights lawyer. I mean, he's a human rights lawyer, but with an international awareness, and to recognize that this is not something that is solely something between Tokyo and Seoul, but rather something with which Korea can speak on behalf of all of the victim countries and all of the victims throughout the world even today.
This actually leads to my next question. Recently, a report by the UN Committee Against Torture recommended a revision in this Comfort Women Agreement deal. Then what implication does this have for the two countries and even beyond Seoul and Tokyo?
This is not something unique to this history of Japan and Korea. This is international history. It was really an astonishing moment when one of the when Halmoni Gilwon-ok met in Berlin with a survivor of an ISIS sex slave operation. And so in that, this is not something that is limited to Korea or a Korean experience, but they're claiming their history in order to teach to teach the rest of the world that we all together must work to end this kind of targeted violence against women during wartime.
Under the new Moon administration, Seoul and Tokyo are taking a separate approach when it comes to security and historical issues. Are there any concerns to this approach?
The real problem is that in denying this history, the history itself has become a security issue. And so in that sense, history has become weaponized as a divisive means rather than what history is good for, which is to learn from the past in a way with which to analyze the present to make the present and future better. Security is an entirely different issue in the sense that, in this respect, it is mandatory right now that Tokyo and Seoul are able to coordinate agreements because there is a tangible security threat in the form of ICBMs flying overhead that need and require a joint ability to respond.
Well, I hope to see progress, as you mentioned, in the current Seoul-Tokyo ties regarding historical issues. And thank you very much for sitting down with us today, Ms. Dudden.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.